Lesson 31, John 7, 1 and 2. After these things, Jesus walked in Galilee, for he did not want to walk in Judea because the Jews sought to kill him. Now the Jews' feast of the tabernacle was at hand. It was not a lack of courage that made Jesus stay in Galilee, but an awareness of the Father's perfect timing for him. He was always on an exact schedule going toward the cross. And it was not time yet for him to be arrested and delivered to the Gentiles. This was a joyful week-long celebration in September, maybe October, when families camped out in temporary shelters. This is also referred to as the Feast of Booths. They did this to remember God's faithfulness in Israel in the wilderness on the way to Egypt, from Egypt rather, to Canaan, following the leadership of Moses. Verses 3 through 5 go on to say, his brothers therefore said to him, "Depart from here and go to Judea, that your disciples also may see the works that you are doing. For no one does anything in secret while he himself seeks to be known openly. If you do these things, show yourself to the world." For even his brothers did not believe in him. Not yet, anyway. His brothers were thinking that his success depended on the world's attitude toward him. That's what they geared success as. In other words, they believed in the world rather than in him. Remarkably, the brothers of Jesus never seemed to be supportive of his ministry before his death and resurrection. After his resurrection, the brothers of Jesus were numbered among the disciples. They had seen the light, so to speak. This does not mean that they did not believe he did miracles, but that he had not submitted his claim to be Messiah. Verses 6 through 9. Then Jesus said to them, "My time has not yet come, but your time is always ready. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify of it, that its works are evil. You go up to the feast. I am not yet going to the feast, for my time has not yet fully come." When he had said these things to them, he remained in Galilee. Because Jesus was completely submitted to the will of God the Father, the timing of God the Father was of utmost importance to him. The brothers of Jesus were not submitted to God's will in the same way, so any time was fine for them to go. Verses 10 through 13. But when his brothers had gone up, then he also went up to the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. Then the Jews sought him at the feast and said, "Where is he?" And there was much complaining among the people concerning him. Some said, "He is good." Others said, "No, no, on the contrary, he deceives the people." However, no one spoke openly of him for fear of the Jews, that is, the Jewish leaders. The secret departure of Jesus to Jerusalem was not an act of deception. It was an attempt to avoid unwelcome publicity. Jesus' enemies were watching out for him. Obviously, they wanted to arrest him and prosecute him, and he knew that. It says there that there was much complaining among the people concerning him, and the people complained because they wanted Jesus to fulfill their wishes for the Messiah and to fulfill them now when they wanted them. They saw Jesus as a king who would overthrow the Roman oppressors. The religious leaders did not want people to talk about Jesus at all. Uh, he was a threat to them, and the common people were afraid of the Jews, the Jewish leaders, and so they didn't speak openly of Jesus at all. We'll stop right there for this lesson.